Black America, I need you to strongly consider the fact that we're all being played. And it's the only thing you can do when you find out you're being played, and that's stand up and say, no more, or you can close your eyes and pretend it ain't happening. Loving Black America does not mean protecting Black Americans who are not fighting the good fight for us. If you're in power and you wear our skin tone, you deliver nothing for our communities, don't come at me with, Tim, man, don't talk about our problems in front of these people. Well, I'm going to talk about our problems in front of these people all day if I have to. And then you need to know that other groups talk about their problems all the time. You just don't hear them. And I don't much care what other groups do. I care about what we do. And what we need to do right now is we need to call these people out. The time for being nice is over. The time for people being protected because they look like us should have never existed. Frankly, them days should have never been days. It was a mistake from the beginning. The only people that perpetrate it are people that are fools or people that are in on the screw. Either robbing a bank or they are lackeys getting caught or getting set up to take the blame for the robbing of the bank. We're the only group that gets shamed for demanding better. Where they do that at? What other group gets shitted on for wanting shit better in their lives? Too many politicians get comfortable, get rich, get lazy, and get ghost. They get what they want and then they're out. They pick up their bag and go like a Uber Eats driver. Fam, this can't stand anymore. These days gotta be over. We have to fight to end them. They're serving their own best interests. They're not serving us. Meanwhile, they ran on, I'm black, 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 I'm biggity black, black, I'm black, black, I'm biggity black, black, biggity black, black, bliggity, 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 black, black, bliggity, 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 black, black. And then when it's time to stand up for black, they say, like Obama, I'm not the president of Black America, I'm the president of America. Notice he didn't say that to the LGBTQ, to the Jewish community, to the rich whites, or anybody else. He didn't even say it to non-Americans. He didn't even say it to migrants and immigrants. But he said it to us, the people that voted for him, 95%. He said it to his closest supporters, his most loyal supporters, not just of him, of his whole party. Barack Obama took down his pants and shitted on all of us. And instead of our leaders saying, no, we will not accept that, we will not let that slide, they said, give us more. Give us more. And the only reason why they did it, because they were picking up their bag. They didn't want to mess up their money because they were already getting theirs. Well, I'm talking to you today, not from a position of working for those people. I don't work for them. I'm not supported by them. I'm supported by you. I'm standing up for my community. I'm fighting for you. We're fighting for each other. He should have had a price to pay for that. Instead, we put him back in office. Shame on us. Shame on us. Shame on us. And shame on those corporate media and independent media blacks in those positions who let it happen. This ain't hate. This is a correction. This is getting the car out of the ditch or on the road and with some gasoline, baby. This is the way it should have always been. And we aim to fix it starting today. It looks like accountability, standards, honesty. We don't have that. What do we have? I say next to nothing. I'm going to go with three things, fams. But before I get to the three things that matter most that we got to address, fam, let me say this. Our enemy is not the Republicans. No, it's not. You will think it is, but it's not. Our enemy are us. We are the enemy. We are our biggest obstacle. Our black leaders who keep us silent, who it appears we work for them instead of them working for us. Because every time I turn around, one of y'all jumping in harm's way to defend them when they're supposed to be defending us. But instead of them defending us, they say they can't defend us because they're black and they don't have any power. Well, if that's the case, fam, get your ass off that seat, because we need somebody in that seat who we elect, that we give power to go in there and do our bidding, not the bidding of others. They're supposed to ride for us, not for Gus. Or get your ass on the bus. 3 things. First thing is reparations. Reparations, fam. Racial wealth gap. Since Obama, the racial wealth gap has gotten wider. You would think it got smaller because, well, you had a black president in office. But we had a black president whose job was to put more money into Wall Street, to help those who had stocks and investments, and to tell black people to pull their pants up. Reparations, H.R. 40. H.R. 40 was written by Representative John Conyers in 1989. There were people watching this video who were still in diapers when that bill was written, the original bill. And you know how far that original bill has progressed since John Conyers? Can you say 0? That's how far we've gotten. And what happens every election time? Some white politician or black politician, some black politician comes out looking black, talk about H.R. 40 for 2 seconds to get our vote, and then puts it back on his shelf and goes on as if it never happened. And what happens with us? We allow it because we say, hey, how can they stand up for us? How can they get elected fighting for us? As if we're not worthy of people standing up for us. As if we give our votes for nothing. The same way Jewish Americans stood up for their reparations, the same way other groups like indigenous folks, Native Americans, stand up for their reparations, we need to stand up for ours. Number 2, economics. I remember when Joe Biden was running for office, everyone was talking about the Build Back Better? Yeah, Build Back Better bill. The only thing that was built back better was corporate subsidies. Corporate subsidies and big-ass wasteful programs that never quite trickled down to black Americans. In fact, the inflation that was caused by the Build Back Better bill took all the benefits of the Build Back Better bill out of our pockets. Yeah, I don't have an electric car, so I don't need an electric charge station. What I need is money. Joe Biden came into office. We were in economic trouble. He came into the office and he left, and we were in worse economic trouble. Black Americans struggle the most economically in this country. How can that be possible when we are the most loyal voting bloc to the Democratic Party? There's only 2 parties, fam. The most loyal voting bloc of the other major party can't seem to get it done. They try really hard, but they can't seem to help us get off the bottom. But for some reason, they know how to make sure new people that come to the country are able to avoid the bottom. Somehow they're able to do it. Somehow they're able to make sure banks and corporations pay little to zero taxes, but are able to stay off the bottom. But little old us who keep them in power, who without us they never get elected. Somehow they can't get things done for us. It's just too hard. We have black Democrats talk about it's too hard to fight for us. You know what's going to be too hard? It's going to be too hard for you to get elected next time, because it's going to be too hard for you to get us out to the polls, and it's going to be too hard to keep us off your ass. That's right. Our problem is not the Republicans. Our problem are our black leaders who are in position and who do next to nothing, very little nothing for us. How can Black America still be behind in housing? We've been in this country for hundreds of years. In 1970, about 40% of Black Americans owned their own homes. White Americans were around 70%. Fast forward to 2020, about 44% of Black Americans own their own homes. It fluctuates, but it stays a difference of about 20 points. Meanwhile, immigrants from the southern border, Latinos who come into the country, most of which didn't start coming until 1975 in large numbers, about 50% of Latino Americans own their own homes. And all I'm saying is, what the fuck is wrong? That is a concerted effort. That is that's the difference between your issues being prioritized and your issues being swept under the rug. Family, we have to demand better. It's on us to demand better of our leaders. And if they're running on their blackness and they say, I'm Black, I come from this struggle, we are people that suffered this, and we're Black Americans and we deserve a seat at the table, if they're using that when they run, they better be standing up for us when they get in office. And that's not too much to ask. That's not crabs in a barrel. That is community. That is leverage. And that is responsibility. We need solutions, not symbols. And all they give us is symbols, which takes us to number 3. Fam. They took the death of George Floyd and raised billions of dollars. And how much of those billions of dollars came to us? Instead, they came to some propped up organization that Democrats were basically cleaning money through to give to LGBTQ community organizations that had nothing to do with the core Black family. They couldn't get the Justice and Policing Act done. They couldn't get an end to qualified immunity, but they tried really hard. If you try really hard to get something done and you don't get it done, you keep trying. You don't get to come back to us and say, we tried hard, we couldn't get it done. But here goes some federal, around the edges, consent decrees. Federal consent decrees only impact federal officers, but hundreds of thousands of state and local law enforcement are not impacted whatsoever. It's a failure. They failed us. They failed us. But they'd love to wear kente cloth, take a knee, talk for days about poor George Floyd. Black people can't go to church. We go to church and get gunned down. A lot less outrage. A lot less pushback. We can't go to the supermarket. Go to the supermarket and multiple Black people gunned down again. Once again, a lot less outrage. And now they talk about Black fatigue. I got Black fatigue. You know what it is? I have Black fatigue to Black politicians who are scared to punch these assholes in the mouth with truth and to fight for the Black community. We are catching hell, have been catching hell, historically. And it's not enough for you to say, I can't get it done because I'm Black. I can't get it done because we don't have the support. We don't have the power. We don't have the House. We don't have the Senate. If you have a microphone and you can talk about Orange Man Band, you could be talking about the racial wealth gap, reparations, the Policing Act, and economics. And you could be talking about why is it Black Americans make 20% less on average than white Americans when we have the same credentials. You could be talking about that right now, but you're not. What you are talking about is a fucking plaque in the White House that was rude to Obama, or a rose garden paved over. I don't care. Black people don't care about the Rose Garden. Most of us won't go to the White House in our lives to see it, whether it was roses or concrete. What we care about is the fact that our neighborhoods are falling apart, our schools are shit, and our children's futures are not looking brighter. And you're in position, your job is to make that better. Black America, I need you to strongly consider the fact that we're all being played. And it's the only thing you can do when you find out you're being played, and that's stand up and say, no more, or you can close your eyes and pretend it ain't happening. I'm hoping you will open your eyes and say no more. They've been getting rich off of us. And what have we been getting? Empty promises and a repeat of the same game. It's time for us to stand up, to demand more. It's the only thing we can do. It's what we should do. It's what we owe our children. It's what we owe our ancestors. My name is Tim Black, and you're watching the most dangerous show in America. Stay courageous, stay bold, and most of all, stay dangerous.
Catch Tim Black live on the most dangerous show in America, Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. Don't miss out on the real. Stay dangerous.